Hello everyone and welcome back to Coffee Crime with Doncha. Or welcome if you're new here. I'm so happy to have you here. Here on this podcast we talk about unsolved cases, mysterious deaths, suspicious murders and everything between. Since there are a lot of true crime podcasts, I really try to cover cases that are not so popular and are from all over the world. So now grab your favorite warm cup of coffee or a tea, find a comfortable spot or listen wherever you are and let's explore another case together. So today we are covering a case that raises a lot of questions and you will see after this episode. Also, I want to hear at the end of the episode in the comments what you think of this case and what you think might have happened. But before we start, all the information in this podcast or video, if you are watching on YouTube, comes exclusively from official sources and investigative files. However, all other opinions expressed are my own, so please do your own research. Also, before we begin, I would like to say that if you enjoy my videos, my podcast, please subscribe to my channel, activate notifications and leave a like, leave a comment, review. Your support means the world to me and it's for free. So let's dive into today's case and the disappearance of Tracy Splinter. So today we are heading deep into the Swiss Alps to isolated village of Vals, located in canton of Graubünden in eastern Switzerland. Vals is famous for its breathtaking mountain views and especially its ultra-luxurious thermal baths. People travel from all over the world to Vals to unplug, to relax and to escape the chaotic pace of everyday life, as we know it, right? So now imagine late September of 2016. Inside the lobby of the 5-star Hotel 7132 in Vals, where rooms start at over 450 francs a night, a dramatic scene unfolds at the reception desk. A 44-year-old woman is attempting to check in. She hands over her credit card, but when the receptionist swipes it, the transaction is declined due to insufficient funds. The woman then pulls out cash, offering to pay for her stay in physical bills. However, modern luxury hotels policies strictly require a valid credit card guarantee. The receptionist politely refuses to check her in without one. Frustrated and visibly angry, the woman grabs her card, turns around and storms out of the hotel lobby into the cool autumn mountain air. That woman was Tracy Splinter, an acclaimed German South African slam poet and performance artist. And that moment in the hotel lobby was one of the very last times everyone ever saw her alive. A few days later, on September 29th in 2016, local authorities make a bizarre discovery. There is a Tracy's luggage sitting completely unattended at the Post Auto bus stop right outside of the Hotel 7132. There is a wheeled troller suitcase packed with clothes, a backpack, a laptop, a camera, her mobile phone, hiking poles, and her official identity documents. Basically, everything a person would need to travel or live was sitting right there on the sidewalk, but Tracy herself was nowhere to be found. Investigators checked with the local transport operators, but she had not boarded the bus out of the valley. She had not called a taxi. No bank transactions were ever recorded on her accounts again. She had simply vanished into thin air. But let's rewind a little bit. Who was actually Tracy Splinter? How did a celebrated award-winning artist end up broke, alone, and missing in the Swiss Alps? Let's take a look at her remarkable life. So to understand this case, we need to look back who Tracy Splinter was before she arrived in Switzerland. Tracy Frederica Splinter was born on October 28th in 1971 in Cape Town, South Africa. Growing up in South Africa, she was deeply influenced by oral storytelling, nursery rhymes, and rhythmic poetry. In the mid-90s, when she was in her 20s, Tracy made a major move to Germany, establishing a home base in the vibrant northern city of Hamburg. She embraced a bohemian, nomadic, artistic lifestyle across Europe. In 1997, she officially acquired German citizenship, holding dual German-South African nationality. Tracy was an incredible, talented, and charismatic performer. She wrote and delivered her poetry in 3 languages, in English, German, and Afrikaans. In 1999, she reached the peak of her literary fame, representing Hamburg at the prestigious German-speaking slam poetry championship in Weimar. Tracy delivered a stunning, high-energy performance over 2 nights, beating out top competitors to win the championship title. Incredible. She was really talented and really creative. Her success exploded from there. In the year 2000, she shot the very first poetry clip for MTV Europe in Berlin. She traveled across Europe, the Caribbean, and the United States, performing at international festivals and releasing also self-published audiobooks and poetry collections like Yours Truly and 101 Nursery Rhymes for Growing Up Children. To anyone looking from the outside, Tracy was brilliant, independent, globe-trotting artist, but as the years went on, the reality of living as an independent artist took a severe financial toll. By 2014 and early 2016, Tracy was living in a quiet multi-family apartment building in Badingshausen, a small town in Hanover, Germany. Her glory days on the MTV stage seemed far behind her. She was unemployed and relying entirely on social welfare benefits from the German job center, which paid her apartment rent directly to the property management. Then in early 2016, something shifted dramatically. Tracy stopped contacting her friends. She cut all of the communication with her parents back in South Africa. Her sudden silence deeply alarmed her family, prompting a missing persons report to be filed in Germany. For months, German police searched for her in vain. Little did they know that in August 2016, Tracy had quietly boarded a postauto bus and traveled across the border into Switzerland, heading straight into the isolated mountains of Graubünden, as we already spoke about. Now, let's carefully reconstruct Tracy Splinter's timeline in Switzerland during August and September 2016 based on police reports and findings by private investigators. So in August 2016, Tracy arrives in the mountain village of Vals via yellow Swiss postauto bus. At first, she keeps a very low profile. She stays at modest, traditional local hotels, specifically Hotel Alpina and Hotel Schneider. During her stays there, she pays for her rooms entirely in cash. She doesn't draw any negative attentions to herself. Hotel staff remember her as a quiet guest who paid her bills on time. But where did she get this cash? remember, back in Germany, she was receiving social welfare and her bank accounts show no recent activity. It's believed that she was traveling with whatever cash savings she had left, but we don't know. By late September 2016, Tracy decides to leave her modest accommodation and attend to check into luxury 5-star hotel 7Y32, which I mentioned at the beginning. But why would someone with limited funds try to check into a hotel costing 400 francs a night? Was she trying to treat herself to one final luxury experience, or was she suffering from a psychological breakdown or delusions, or did she simply believe she had enough cash to cover it? These are the questions that raise my eyebrows. When the reception desk declined her credit card due to insufficient funds and refused her cash offer without a credit card guarantee, Tracy walked out in anger. Fast forward to September 29th in 2016, her luggage is found sitting abandoned at the post auto bus stop right next to Hotel 7132. When investigators from Graubünden cantonal police secure her belongings, they find an extraordinary set of personal items. As I already said, they found trolley, suitcase filled with her clothes, a backpack containing her laptop, camera, mobile phone, and hiking sticks. Her official documents, including her passport. Everything a person needs to survive or travel was right there. Leaving behind your phone, laptop, and passport means you are either not planning on coming back or something prevented you from returning. And this gives me really chills. Like, why would you leave all your personal belongings at the bus stop station? Like, why? And inside her luggage bag, investigators also found one specific mysterious item, a folded map of the Swiss city of Chur, the nearest regional capital about an hour drive from Vals. On this map, someone had used a blue ballpoint pen to carefully draw a circle around the specific address, Asia Market in Chur. Why did Tracy circle an Asia grocery store in Chur? Was she planning to meet someone there? Was it a clue to her next destination, or just an ordinary errand she wanted to run? This detail added to a whole new layer of intrigue to an already perplexing case. When Tracy's luggage was found on September 29th in 2016, the Graubünden cantonal police launched an immediate local investigations. Officers searched the immediate area around Hotel 7Y32 and checked local transportation routes. But in Switzerland, as in many European countries, adults have the legal right to disappear voluntarily if there is no immediate evidence of crime, suicide, or accident. Because searches around Vals turned up no physical traces of crime or accident, the official police investigation in Graubünden was closed by autumn 2016. I understand why, because like many adults can just leave, they leave no trace and come back few days later. Back in South Africa, Tracy's parents were living in absolute agony. They hadn't heard a word from their daughter in over a year. Desperate for answers, in July 2017, they hired a private detective agency in Germany called L&K Hanover. The lead detective on the case was Reinhard Knapp, just call him a Knapp. a highly experienced retired German chief crime commissioner. Detective Knapp and his partner look over the file with one single goal: find out what happened to Tracy. In late July 2017, Knapp traveled directly to Vals, Switzerland. He personally retrieved Tracy's abandoned luggage from police storage and re-interviewed staff at Hotel Alpina, Hotel Schneider, and Hotel 7132. Knapp verified that Tracy had definitely not left Vals by postautobus or taxi. Next, Knapp followed up on the clue found inside her luggage, the marked map of Chur. He traveled to Chur and went straight at the Asia market in Chur. He showed Tracy's photograph to the shop owners and employees. He also visited nearby major supermarkets like Coop and Migros, showing their picture to staff and locals. And the result, you can imagine, total heartbreak. Not a single person in Chur recognized her. Nobody remembered seeing the 44-year-old slam poet. In September 2017, exactly 1 year after Tracy vanished, Detective Knapp launched a major public appeal through prominent Swiss newspapers, pleading with the public for any information. Knapp publicly stated, quote, "This is our last attempt to find Tracy Splinter. Her parents in South Africa deserve answers." End quote. In December 2001, the case gained renewed national attention in Germany when it was featured on the true crime TV documentary series Wenn Menschen verschwinden, meaning when people disappeared. Yet, despite private investigations, international media coverage, and public pleas, no confirmed trace of Tracy Splinter has ever been found. Now, let's explore the most fascinating and also haunting aspect of this case: Tracy Splinter's own artistic work. When researchers and true crime investigators looked back at Tracy's YouTube channel and spoken word performances from 2014 to 2016, they discovered an almost prophetic pattern. In her early career, Tracy's slam poetry was vibrant, social, and celebratory. But in her final years, her poetry shifted dramatically toward themes of solitude, voluntary isolation, and fading away. In 2014 YouTube video titled "What I Love," Tracy says the lines that sends chills down your spine. In the video, she speaks openly about leaving things behind, including the haunting line, quote, "What I love, I sometimes leave behind," end quote. In other performances from 2015, she spoke about the allure of disappearing from society, cutting ties, and stepping into the unknown. Did Tracy foreshadow her own disappearance through her art? When we analyze what might have happened to Tracy Splinter in late September 2016, there are a lot of speculations and three main theories emerge. So let's look at these theories. Theory number 1, voluntary disappearance. This theory suggests that Tracy chose to walk away from her life voluntarily. Facing financial hardship, unemployment, and personal isolation in Germany, she may have staged her departure as an ultimate artistic statement, a real-life performance art piece about vanishing. She could have left her luggage behind internationally, walked into another life, and chosen to live off-grid under a new identity, perhaps in a remote mountain community or abroad. Now, this might be, but also raised a lot of questions like, why would you leave everything behind, and where would you go without anything? Like, this is inappropriate to me. Like, I don't think this happened. What do you guys think? Do you think she disappeared voluntarily? Now let's look at the theory number 2, mental health crisis. A second theory points to a severe psychological crisis. Her attempt to check into luxury hotel with no money, followed by a fit of rage, suggests a potential psychotic episode or severe mental breakdown. If she potentially suffered a psychological break, she might have walked into a dangerous terrain surrounding Vals. The mountains around Graubünden are vast and dense, and if someone get off the marked trails without proper gear, a fatal accident or anything could happen quickly. And remains can easily stay undiscovered for years. So, yeah, this could also be a potential theory that could have happened, because as we know, we or the investigators found hiking poles in her luggage. But why would she go to mountains without them? Another question that raised my eyebrows. Okay, now let's look at the theory number 3, foul play. The third theory is that Tracy met with foul play. The handwritten address of the Asian market in Khor suggests she may have planned to meet someone. We don't know exactly, but it could be, right? Did she meet an individual who took advantage of her vulnerable state? While Detective Knapp noted that the narrow Vals valley makes crime difficult, foul play can never be entirely ruled out when a person goes missing or vanishes without a trace. Looking at this case subjectively, my heart really goes out to Tracy's parents and family in South Africa. For 9 years, they have lived in agonizing uncertainty, not knowing if their daughter is alive, living a secret life somewhere, or if she reposes quietly in Swiss Alps. Tracy Splinter was a gifted, complex, and passionate artist whose voice touched thousands of people. Beyond the mystery, she deserves to be remembered for her talent, her words, and her humanity. And this brings us to the end of this episode of Coffee Crime with Doncha. Please, guys, let me know what you think of this case, because I think it's really, really mysterious. Like, there are a lot of speculation, a lot of possibilities what could have happened to Tracy, and we haven't heard or seen her since then. And remember, she was really famous. Like, people knew her in Germany. She was a slam poet, as we know. She was traveling across the Europe. She was also in the United States. So if anyone saw her or knew anything, please let authorities know. Also, if you have ideas for other cases, whether missing person, suspicious death, suspicious disappearance, or if you want to leave me a feedback or comment, please, guys, I like to talk to you. In the info box under the podcast or video, you will find a link to a form that you can fill out at any time. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, take care and stay safe. We'll see or hear each other soon. Bye.